Greetings. Now in episode 2 of the Silicon Valley Bank situation, we're going to examine the question of whether woke politics had something to do with the failure of Silicon Valley Bank. Now, when a media story like this occurs, it is a Rorschach test of sorts because people are going to be predisposed to see what they want to see. For example, this young woman is getting in a lot of undeserved trouble because there are headlines like this, which is in fact from the New York Post. While Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, top executive pushed woke programs. Now, I'm not a fan of corporations doing woke things with their money. A corporation exists for the purpose of profit, not for the purpose of social engineering. But this person, Jay Ursapa, is not a senior executive. You can tell she's clearly in her early 30s or something like that. And she is not among the senior executives listed there. She is merely a risk officer in their UK office. Silicon Valley Bank is, of course, headquartered in Silicon Valley. They have branches in all sorts of cities all over the world, probably 100 different branches. And the UK branch might be a good sized one, but it's still a very small part of Silicon Valley Bank. Just because she had the fancy title of being head of financial risk management and model risk at SVB's UK branch, somehow the failure of the entire corporation, which is headquartered in another country, is being attributed to her by those who want to see this agenda. She pushed for woke programs. Now, maybe she did push for some woke programs, more than there should have been, because woke programs, like I said, should not be part of a corporation's business, but you can't attribute this to the failure of the bank. Let's see about who the real upper management is. SVB.com leadership. This is Silicon Valley Bank's website and their actual leadership, the CEO and so forth. That young woman was not in their upper leadership. She was just someone in the UK office and not really high up in the organization. Here is the executive compensation of the top management of SVB Financial Group. Again, Greg Becker is the president and CEO, was paid $10 million in 2021, the most recent year for which data is available. The other C-level executives are pretty standard in the $3 to $4 million a year range, so nothing out of the ordinary given the size of this company. But you can match up these names with the pictures we just saw to see that, no, the upper management was not diverse, and the upper management should not be diverse for only diversity's sake. I'll be the first to say that. So why is that bogus story being spun up? Just because some mid-level person in the UK did some woke programs, that doesn't mean that these people are somehow exempt from having to do their true due diligence. The real chief risk officer of the entire corporation is Kim Olson. The CEO is Greg Becker. So look at all 12 of these upper management people. Do most of them go along with woke politics? Probably yes. But do they let it get out of control? Probably not. That doesn't stop this narrative from getting a lot of legs online. So let's see what other places say. This is the UNS Review, a website devoted to very racist ideologies for the most part. It brands itself as an alternative media website, but most of the articles are generally in agreement with that problematic German regime from World War II. And if you doubt that, you should poke around here. So, will Silicon Valley Bank be another end of the world? Steve Saylor. Again, this is the only person from Silicon Valley Bank that he features, but she is not part of the actual C-level executive management of the company. She was not one of the 12 people on that website. Now, if you read the comments, you'll see a lot of basic boilerplate racism and so forth. And I wouldn't even call this far-right politics. Most of the economic views over here are socialist in nature. Remember, that German regime was called the Nationalist Socialist Party, and that's what these people do. See, again, they're fixating on this person. Because that bank had this person in the UK, thousands of miles from its headquarters, and not even very high up, therefore the whole thing collapsed. But anyway, enough of this. If you want to read these comments, you can see the link I have in the description box below. So those were a bunch of tangential topics around the Silicon Valley Bank situation. I will have more as events unfold. But the various memes going around in the media were of the various types that I noticed, and how there is in fact a faction ready to say, well, they had this person at this company and that's why they had woke priorities and that's why they went under, which again is a stretch. That's not even a subject I thought I'd be talking about, but since we're going in a very ugly direction in terms of our media coverage, you're going to see more and more of this sprouting up everywhere. More to follow, and thanks for watching.